All right, we are live. It looks to be that way. Let me just test and see if we have audio. All right. Welcome to the show. So this is the first in my kind of like newer studio, kind of new format of the channel set up here. So I've got a few things that we will discuss today. As you can see from the thumbnail. I want to keep my comments. Yeah, audio is good. So, first thing I want to do in today's show is kind of, so you guys can kind of know my background and stuff like that. Know kind of where I come from as far as that light's really, really bright. I'm going to turn that off. Sorry about that. I'm on the Panasonic HC-X2000. I bought this camera specifically for this live streaming thing, to be able to do this live stream setup. And I love it. It's a great camera for that. It really is. So first thing I want to do is kind of talk about, so you guys can kind of know me. And I'm not going to do this every week. This is just going to be a today thing because I just want to kind of discuss. And then my air conditioning is on. Typically when I do these videos, I like to turn my AC off because it's so loud. But I might be here for an hour or something like that, or maybe even more than that. Who knows how long I'll be here? But I'm going to do this every Saturday night. It could be a different time, right around 6, 7 o'clock Central Time, so 7 o'clock Eastern Time. But the reason I started doing this live stream is because I want to know what other people do. I want to talk cameras. I want to probably bring some other people onto the show as well. I've got some other friends that are into cameras, and then, maybe some viewers, if they want to come in, we can work something out. I might just kind of like set up like an iPad here or something like that and get another microphone, something along those lines. I don't know. We'll see. But first thing I want to do is I got a few topics I want to talk about today, and then I want to get into, for starters, like kind of a little background on me. So I'm not a professional photographer, videographer, or anything like that. I'm just somebody who's really just into cameras. I like going out and doing things all the time. I'm a very active person, and I like to go out and take my camera with me, take photos and take videos, and I kind of like to document the things that I got to do with my life. So I do have another YouTube channel called CJ Abroad. You can search it. Or maybe I'll put a comment. Actually, it doesn't really matter. Even if I put a comment, you can't really click on it from the way I see it and look at somebody's channel anymore. You used to be able to do that when people did live streams, but but you can't really do that anymore. So it is what it is. But yeah, you can just go to the search in YouTube and search CJ Abroad, CJ space Abroad, and it should come right up. That's the channel that I normally I like to document things I get to do in my life. So I started doing YouTube back in 2015 on a channel. I used to do headphone reviews. When I first started out, I would do headphone reviews, and I enjoyed it. And I was getting a lot of views. I had a couple 100,000 views, and then I was like, I'm tired of doing the headphone reviews because I was getting nothing for free. So I was paying for everything out of my pocket, and I was going broke. My first ever video that I shot was on some little Sony like cyber shot. I don't know. I bought the camera in like 2010 or something like that. It was just I didn't know anything about cameras at the time. In 2015, I couldn't even tell you what frame rate I was shooting in. But I can tell you also that there's a lot of, probably the vast majority of YouTubers out there probably are doing the same damn thing. When you see somebody's YouTube channel and, they're they have a ton of subscribers and their footage just looks like shit. It's probably because they have no idea what they're doing with their camera, or maybe they don't even have a camera. But I didn't really know what I was doing with it. And over the years, I learned. The second camera I bought a Nikon D3200. And that camera, I bought it with a kit lens and started doing videos. And the autofocus on there, with the autofocus motor in that kit lens was so loud. Oh my God, it was terrible. And then I bought like an A5000. A5000. Well, this is a ZV-E10 here, but you know, A5000 is a camera that, you know, this kind of replaces in some ways, in my opinion. And I'll tell you what, since then I've learned as much as I possibly could. I've done all the research that I could. I've you know, I bought a lot of cameras. I've sold a lot of cameras. I've traded a lot of cameras in. I've had pretty much everything, man. I've had them all. And I realized that instead of trading cameras in, it's best to just save up and buy the new one, and buy the one you want, because you're still going to want, like this camera here. I bought this camera twice, Fuji X-T4. I bought this camera twice, Panasonic S5. And it's a waste of money. When you trade these things in, you pay $2,000 for the camera. You trade it in, you get $1,200, $1,500 for it. Then you buy it again for another $2,000. What a waste! You just lost $800 for no reason. So I've done a lot of stupid things. I'm not gonna lie to you, buying cameras, but it is what it is. We live and we learn, right? The thing that I'm most upset about is that I started out this channel in 2015, right? Not this channel, but another channel called CJ Abroad. And I had so much footage on there. One of the things, the only reason I do YouTube videos, I don't do YouTube for the videos, for the views. I don't do it for the likes. I don't do it for the comments. I don't do it for none of that. I do it to document the things that I do. And then this channel here is because I just like cameras. It's called the Camera Junkie. It's because I like shooting video. I like making videos. I like talking about cameras. I like learning about cameras. I like going out and using cameras, most of all. It's a hobby that's probably far more than just a regular hobby in many ways for me. So yeah. But I had all this footage from all this traveling I got to do in Korea and England and Romania and Iceland and man, so many, Switzerland and so many other countries that I went to, and Thailand and Philippines. And I deleted it all for no reason. I don't even know why. So it's all gone. I don't have no access to that footage anymore. And it's such a bummer to me, but it is what it is. It happened, and you got to get over it. So now with my new CJ Abroad, and again, you can go search CJ Abroad and it comes right up. I actually will have a video out in about an hour from a hike I did today. And I took out this camera, so I have some photos. You can go check my Instagram as well. I will have some photos coming up from this, the ZV-E10. It was a good fun hike today. But you know, but anyways, let's get into like the news of this channel today. I don't know nobody in here watching, so that's fine. It's my very first one, so I'll be doing this every Saturday night, folks. So if you're interested in cameras like I am, and you want to, I know it's Saturday night, people are out and doing this. Probably that's kind of why I did this, because you know, I didn't think I would get that many people in here. But over time, it'll grow as the channel grows. I'm not really all that concerned about it. One of the things I want to discuss tonight is the new lenses coming for Fuji Xml. Just a minute. Water, folks. Not drinking drunk then. I don't really drink much. New lenses coming for Fuji X-Mount. I tell you right now, in the last week or two, I've come very close to getting rid of this camera again. And that's when I realized that don't get rid of it because I'm going to need it. It's a tool that I will find a use for at some point. It's a good travel photography camera. It's a great video camera. Autofocus is a little weak, but for B-roll and stuff like that, I'll use it for B-roll. Oh, sorry, this college football game just started. Just a second. Sorry about that. I got the ESPN Plus on. I'm going to watch the Oklahoma State, Missouri State game. Now that I'm down here in Arkansas football team fucking sucks. So no offense to anybody who's an Arkansas fan, but man, they got a new quarterback. It seems like he could be something special, but man, I'll tell you what, I don't know how many times he hit receivers. I'm talking right here, and you're like, oh, I don't know how to catch a football today. I don't know if they won or lost. I fell asleep during the game and quit watching, but it seems like they got a pretty good young quarterback. And man, I'll tell you what, that poor bastard, I feel bad for him. I mean, he was just throwing boom, right there. Oh, I don't want nothing to do with catching the football. One of them was like damn near, they got lucky. It should have been a pick six. But anyways, so Tamron has announced that they're making an 18-300 lens for Fuji X-Mount. Now, when I learned of that, I was like, there's no way I'm getting rid of this camera because that right there is the perfect all-around travel lens. I don't think you can beat it, folks. I just don't think you can. 18-300, there's nothing Fuji makes that's like that. It's there's nothing Fuji. Fuji's got a couple of telephoto lenses, the 100-400. They've got the 40-150. I guess it's technically a telephoto. They got the new 70-300 just came out, but again, that starts at 70 rather than 18, and it's still variable aperture. It's not a constant aperture. And it, sure, if you pair it with this, then you've got the same focal length, 16-80 here, 70-300 there. Now you've got the same focal length as that 18-300, but that's in two different lenses. And that 70-300 is more expensive than the 18-300. They're saying it's $699 and the 70-300 $799, so $100 more. And it's a less versatile lens. But, folks, there's more. There has been talk for quite some time now, and it's starting to heat up again. Now that Tamron is making lenses for the X-Mount. Now, it would be nice if they came out there at 11-22. That would be a great one. And then the 17-70, the two lenses that they have right now for Sony E-Mount, APS-C. It would be so badass if they came out with those two lenses for Fuji as well. Would really make this Fuji system something special. But what would really make this something special, folks? What lens would really make the Fuji X system something special? The Sigma 16mm 1.4. I've had that lens for pretty much every system except L-Mount. And again, like I know I got beat up in the comments a couple weeks ago about how I thought I'm hoping. Me personally, I'm hoping that the GH6 is an L-Mount. I know that it's not going to be. I know that it's not. It's going to be a Micro Four Thirds, but I would love to see an APS-C L-Mount camera personally. Because they've already got the best lens in the business, the 16mm 1.4. APS-C, if you have an APS-C system right now that has the 16mm 1.4, you should own that lens. That should be the first lens you buy. It's that good. I've had it for Canon, EF-M mount. I had it on an M50. I had it on a Panasonic G9 for Micro Four Thirds, and I had it on the Sony A6400 for Sony. I wouldn't mind getting it again, but I don't want to buy any lenses for this camera. This camera, I bought this. This is all it's ever going to be right here. This is, and I'm going to do a whole video later this week on. This isn't a vlogging camera for me. This is actually more of a travel photography camera for me. I do a lot of hiking. I'm here in Arkansas. I do a lot of hiking around the area. There's mountains everywhere. There's hiking trails everywhere. I love having this for several different reasons. Even though it doesn't have an EVF, I'm perfectly fine with that. I love having it because it's super, super light, you know, and you barely even know you've got it on. You know, carrying this thing around while you're hiking is not a lot of fun. I promise you that. Yes, it takes better photos. It's a full frame camera with a 24-70 f2.8 lens on it. Yes, it takes better photos. It takes better video. Everything about this camera is better than that. Literally everything except for the weight. So the 16mm 1.4 from Sigma, if it was out and available for this Fuji X-T4, man, this would be one hell of a setup right there. Because sorry about that. The camera just kind of shut off on me. I have continuous power. Now it looks like garbage. I don't know what the hell happened. It's all blue. It'll probably clear back up, but let me just brighten this light up. See. And then I'll change the background color real quick too. There's. Let's go with a little violet. How about that? All right, so I've never tried the other. There's a 30mm and a 56mm 1.4. I've never tried those two lenses. I don't really do a lot of portrait work. If they did come out with this for this Fuji, because that's something I might do in the future, is more portrait work. But the Sigma 16 1.4 is like, I would love to have that in this, put on a gimbal. I know that autofocus on this camera is garbage, but it is what it is. But that would just be amazing, because this is a really amazing camera. Right now, I only have a 16-80 lens on here, and this lens is not the best in the world. It's got decent stabilization, but the image is kind of soft out of it. I don't really like the sharpness out of it. When I did a video last week using it, man, it was just constantly hunting the whole video, and I was really irritated with it. However, in the future, there is like a little, I can't think of the name of the company, but I did a video. You can go check it out. They are making XLR adapter for it, so you can, like this, I run my XLR. Normally my videos are shot on this camera. Today I'm shooting on a Panasonic HC-X2000 because it has a full-size HDMI, and I can run continuous power to it. So when I'm doing live streams, it's just a lot easier for me to use this camera because I can live stream with it, because it's got the full HDMI again. Like I don't have to worry about it. It's not going to shut off on me. I don't have to worry about it powering down. Of course, it just did. So that's just because I probably hit a 20-minute time thing or whatever. I probably could hit the record button and it probably would stay on. But let me actually try that. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna try it. All right. I got the tail light on. It is recording, so maybe I will. The next thing in the news is, folks, the GoPro Hero 10. I did a video about this a couple weeks ago, like kind of my wish list, I suppose. Seems like some leaked footage has come out on the GoPro Hero 10. And some of the wish list things that I put in there are not going to make this camera. Now, there is a new sensor and a new processor. but it doesn't look to be a 1-inch sensor. Maybe it will be a 1-inch sensor. I was really hoping for a 1-inch sensor. I think if GoPro were to go 1-inch sensor, and now I say this because like the Insta360 1R or something like that has, you can get a 1-inch sensor for it. And then probably over the next year or two, I think you'll see the majority. Within 2 years, I think you'll see the majority of smartphones have 1-inch sensors. Now they do have smartphones coming out this year with 1-inch sensors. So I think that's kind of why you see this, the ZV-E10, because the ZV-1, RX100 series, G7X series, those days of those cameras being out are over. Same with, the little tiny 2/3 sensors that, they have the big zooms and, HS650, whatever it is for Canon, and, Panasonic TZ80s, and Sony's got a couple of them too. I think those days are over with. I mean, these smartphones, yes, you're never going to be able to kind of control. I mean, it's an optical zoom versus an electronic zoom. But I'll tell you what, I've seen that. What is it called? The Samsung S21 Ultra. That has got like 100 times zoom on it, and it's actually really good. Even when you zoom all the way in, the images are still pretty crystal clear. Without an optical zoom, with an electronic zoom, they're still really good. So I think that in the next year or two, you'll see the days of 1-inch sensor cameras become obsolete, and that's why you got this. That's why you get this in the price range that it gives. I think Sony is the only company out there that can kind of see what's coming. This camera, the reason I bought it is because of this price. Comparatively to everything else that's on the market right now, and it's kind of in its range, this thing blows everything away because of its price. I mean, you look at, the X-T30 Mark II that just came out. Yeah, it's got 4K or 10-bit video, 4K 60 in some aspects. It's got DCI 4K, all things I'm not really going to use. And it's also $1,000. All right, well, I'm not going to use those things, and it's also a couple $100 more. So, all right, well, that one's out. Nikon ZFC, beautiful looking camera, love it. Retro style, beautiful camera. It's got nothing more than this camera has in reality, as far as video goes. And it's also $1,100 with a kit lens. So I'm saving $300 for the same camera. So kind of a waste of money, in my opinion. Anyways, GoPro Hero 10 doesn't seem like it's going to get a new sensor, 23 megapixel sensor. Some upgraded video specs, 5.3K at 60 frames per second. I think last year I had 5K at 30. 5K, just straight 5K rather than 5.3K. So it's a little bit higher resolution at 60 frames per second. And then 4K 120. And then 2.7K at 240 frames per second, whereas the current GoPro Hero 9 is 4K 60, 5K 30. I don't know what 2.7K I think is only 120, and then 1080p is 240 frames per second. So some quite big bumps on the video specs on this one. It looks like it's going to have the same form factor, which is nice because it does look like maybe we'll get the same battery, and maybe we will get the same what is this called, the media mod. So I've already got media mod, pretty badass. Hopefully that's all the same. It would just make sense for GoPro to kind of make that. It would make sense. I would love to see GoPro come out with like an APS-C camera, like a larger camera, that's durable. Maybe fixed lens too, not even change lens. Take this camera right here and make it 3 times the size that it is, and put an APS-C sensor in it. Man. I don't know why. I would love that. I would love it. Maybe not everybody else would like it, but I would like it. So yeah, GoPro Hero 10. We're probably within 10 to 10 days, 2 weeks from that camera coming out at this point. Especially because there's leaks and stuff like that already. So there's a good chance that we're very close to the GoPro Hero 10 coming out. We will see. All right. Now, September 9th. That's going to be next week. We're 5 days out. Sigma is going to announce a couple of new lenses that one of them I'm really excited about. It's like a 90mm f2.8 macro lens. I could care less. But a 24mm f2. That is a lens that is kind of exciting to me because my favorite focal length is 24mm. APS-C 16mm because I'm probably around 24mm right now where I'm at right now. And I can touch the camera. I'm that far away. I just like the 24mm. I do mainly video, mainly talking head video. So 24 is like perfect for me. And a nice fast 24mm is awesome. So a 24mm f2 lens coming out. Panasonic just put out a 24mm 1.8. And I was very excited because this lens is the one that I wanted, right? They announced it about a year ago or so, 8 months ago or so, that they were going to come out with a 85, a 50mm, a 24mm, and a 35 1.8. And they're all going to be like, compact lenses, not like pancake, but just compact. And the one I was most excited about was the 24mm. And then when the 85 came out and it was around $550, and then the 50mm came out and it was around $500, I was like, hell yeah, we're going to get a 24mm 1.8. It's going to be around $500 something. I will buy it the very next day. Then they put it out and they put a $900 price tag on it. And I was like, I don't want it that bad for $900 personally. I wanted it I would already have pre-ordered it if it was $550 or $600. $900 is something more I got to think about. So I don't know if I'll get that lens. I'm going to wait for the Sigma to come out. It's probably going to be a little bit cheaper, being that's f2, which is perfectly fine. I don't mind f2. Between f2 and 1.8, it's not going to be that big of a deal. But that'll be a lens I probably will. If that lens is around $600, because I'm assuming around $600, $600 or $700, it might be something I might add to the collection. But I think for now, I think I'm going to be just waiting to see what these prices are. But September 9th, I'll see what they are. Yeah. And the reason I'll kind of wait for that is because of the last thing I want to talk about tonight. And I was kind of hoping I would have some more folks in the chat today by now, because Sony A7 IV. This is a camera that if it is what I want it to be, is a camera that I've been waiting for a long time. Now, I look at something like the A7S III, and I say, A7S III is in every way, shape, and form the perfect camera. It's the perfect camera. In every way, shape, and form, it's perfect. We finally have it, folks. We can all die now. We have the perfect camera, in my opinion. If you're a photographer, maybe it's not. If you're straight photography all the time, no. But video-wise, the A7S III is the perfect camera. All the videographers can die now. Video people can die. It's the perfect camera. I cannot justify $3,500 for one camera. So it eliminates itself from being the perfect camera simply because I can't justify spending $3,500 on a camera. But the A7 IV, when I say A7S III being the perfect camera, I'm also kind of saying it's a little bit overkill in many ways, because I think 4K 120 is a feature that I will never ever use. And I've always said, one of the things I hate about hybrid cameras is you have to pay for things you don't use. You know what I mean? I wish they would just, you could go and almost like go to the Sony website and just like, I want all these video features. All I do is video. I don't even want to take photos. I don't need 20 frames per second shooting. I don't need, you know, high buffers and burst rates and, you know, I don't even need single autofocus. Take that off. I don't want to pay for that either because I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use continuous all the time. I wish that I could kind of just build the perfect camera from go to the Sony website and just be like, take all the photography features out of that, take $1,500 off the camera, give me all those video features, give me 4K 120, give me all that stuff for like $1,900 because I don't need any of the photography stuff. I don't even need it. You don't even take the fucking shutter button off of it. I don't need that either. You know, if I want to take photos, I'll buy a photo camera. Then I'll go back to Sony and I'll go to an A7R and buy an A7R without anything that can take video. You know what I mean? You know, give me an A7R Mark IV that has no video features on it whatsoever. That's straight photography. All it does is take pictures. You can't even, there's not even a record button on it. You know, I wish you could do something like that. I don't like paying for things that I don't use. So when I look at something like the A7S III, I understand why it is $1,400 or $3,500. I get it. You know, the S stands for sensitivity, right? And that 12 megapixels will pretty much see in the dark. If you put a nice 1.8, 1.4 lens on there, I mean, you could go out in blackout conditions and probably see and get good video, you know? If there's some sort of light source at all, it'll take that light source and blow it right out of proportion and make it look like it's like a football stadium, pretty much. Sort of. But when it comes to the A7 IV, I look at the price tag on there. You know, we don't know what the megapixel count is going to be yet. You know, the rumors say 33. 33 sounds like an odd number to me. I was watching Jared Poland's video on it the other day, and he kind of, I mean, he said it better than I did. You know, the two main things that came out last week for the rumor mill were a 33 megapixel sensor, which that's just kind of a really odd number. Why would it be a 33 megapixels? I could see 30, I could see 35. But 33 is kind of just an odd number. Maybe even 32 sounds even better. But 33 just sounds like it's just a weird number. I don't know. And then 5.5 stops of in-body image stabilization. Like that's something that I guess I wouldn't really brag about. You know, every camera now with IBIS has that. It wouldn't really be something I would brag about. You know, most cameras now have more than that anyway. So 5.5 is what it is. And I'm sure that whatever Sony's going to come out is going to have that gyro stabilization in there, and you're going to be able to use callus browse and turn it into gimbal-like. You know, so it doesn't really matter. I just want to see, I don't care what the megapixel count is. I just don't want to see a bump in the megapixels and then Sony saying, well, that's why we have a $2,500 price tag on it, folks. Okay, well, the majority of the people that are buying this camera don't give a shit about the extra megapixels, but now we have to pay for it. You know, the majority of people out there are perfectly fine with 24 megapixels. It's enough for what most of the people are doing. If you are trying to make billboards, then that's what the A7R4 is, or the A7R3. You know, but if you're trying to shoot for Instagram or magazines or newspapers or wherever you're doing, you know, 24 is plenty. Weddings and real estate, again, 24 is probably more than likely plenty. Yeah, you could probably use a little more when it comes to, you know, landscape and stuff like that. You know, but I honestly, I think that's what the A7 R4 is for. You know, if you're that big in landscapes and making professional level landscape photography and getting paid money and making money off of it, you might as well just go buy an A7 R4. You don't need 33 megapixels when you could get for another $1,000, you know, or whatever. You could get an A7 R4 or an A7 R3. You can get those for like $2,300 now. Still a great camera. So I just want to see the exact same form factor as the A7S3, right? To include the bigger grip, the fully articulating screen, and the new record button. That's what I want to see. I'm thinking those are guaranteed. I don't really care necessarily what the specs. I mean, I do care what the specs are. I want 10-bit video in 4K 60 at least. Don't really care about DCI. I don't really care about I don't really care if it has 4K 60 10-bit, as long as it's got internal 10-bit of some sort. Maybe it's caps out at 4K 30. Maybe it's 4020 10-bit at 60 frames per second. You know, and 422 10-bit and 30. That's fine. I shoot with this 420 10-bit. I don't use 422. I edit my videos in a MacBook Pro, and like the base model MacBook Pro. So I think 10-bit video would make the life on this MacBook a little shorter than I want it to be. So I shoot 420 10-bit. And I don't really do a lot of color grading, very little color grading. I shoot more of a flatter profile and just add a little saturation. That's about it. That's it. Maybe a little contrast when I do my videos. So like the videos you guys see, sometimes I do go a little overboard, I think, and kind of looks orange to me sometimes, but yeah. Anyways, I intend to do this every Saturday night. We'll have a couple of news topics. And hopefully we'll get some people in here. We'll talk about what cameras you guys use. Maybe I'll have some questions in here. I'm very interested in that. I want, what this channel is for is to help more in the video than it is anything. More for video than it is anything. But what I want to do is be able to help people pick the right camera. Like, if it paid enough money, my dream job would be work at a camera store. Several times I found myself in like a, you know, I just retired from the United States Air Force. And most BXs have, base exchanges have like a little camera section inside the electronics, the power zones, they call it. And several times I've been in there and like the people are asking questions about cameras, and you know, the people that are working in there, they don't know shit about anything they're selling. They're just there because it's a job to them. So I've been in there and I'll help people, and I enjoy doing that. Like, it's something I've always really enjoyed doing. It like, oh man, I'm trying to buy a camera for my wife, whatever. This is what we do with it, and I'm not going to kind of point in the right direction. Now the BX tends to have like really outdated cameras, so I will be like, hey, you know, we're overseas. I was overseas. I was in England with my last base. Matter of fact, where I started this channel was I was actually in England. So if you go back to the very first couple of videos, I did them all from my little apartment in England that I had, that I really didn't have a studio set up. Now I finally have a little place. I'm actually in like my dining room, but I'm in this place alone. So I was like, you know what? I'll just turn this dining room into a studio. And I can make much better videos, better quality videos. So that's what I did. I decided to just do that. But I really enjoy, you know, kind of pointing people in the right direction, helping people out when it comes to like choosing the right camera. That's what I'm here for. That's what I really enjoy doing. And I decided that, you know what, I want to make a channel because of that. You know, and news and stuff like that. I like to post the news. It's, you know, what cameras can potentially come out, rumors and stuff like that. I like to do those because it's things that I'm interested in. I'm interested in what cameras are coming out. Maybe there's something else that I wanted to use. And I mean, honestly, my dream job is probably work at a camera store. Unfortunately, I don't think a camera store pays quite what I want to get paid. So I have a much better job after the military. I'm retired. I also have military income from that retirement check. So, and then there's this. I mean, I'll make money off this. I don't have enough subscribers. I don't meet the thresholds for that yet, but maybe one day I will. But that's what I'm here for. If you have questions, put them in the comments, and I will address those comments. Or if it's not something that I could do a video on, I'll do a video on it. If it's something that I can just answer in the comments, I'll just answer it in the comments. But yeah, pretty good. I like cameras. It's called the Camera Junkie because I'm a camera junkie. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this live stream. We are going on about 40-something minutes now. And again, anything I can do to help, that's what I'm here for. If you guys have any questions about cameras, if I don't know the answer, I will be sure find it for you. Chances are, though, the amount of research that I do on cameras, if it's something consumer level, I'm into more consumer level stuff. Like if you ask me about an Arri Alexa, I'm not gonna be able to help you. If you ask me about a A6500, I've owned that camera before. I can help you. Something consumer level. Canons. I've had Canon's cameras. I've had Nikon cameras. I've had Panasonic cameras. Fuji, Sony. I've never owned an Olympus, but I know they have really good stabilization. Probably the best in the business. I know a few things about the Olympus cameras. Micro Four Thirds sensors. Not bad. So I probably help you with that too. So hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. I'll be back next Saturday night, as well as videos throughout the week. So for your viewing pleasure, hopefully I can address one of your questions in a video just out of random. So y'all have a great day. Later.